Well, it's Thursday, and the Browns are getting ready to face the Chargers on Sunday at FirstEnergy Stadium. And what we don't know yet is if they will have Jadeveon Clowney. Things seem positive on the Myles Garrett front. We'll get to that. But Mary Kay, Jadeveon spoke today, and he's still working back from that ankle injury.
Yeah, you know what? He doesn't sound really gung-ho about getting out there and playing yet. He's learned over the years that it's not good to rush back, because if he does that, then he hurts himself for the rest of the season. So I think he'd really like to take his time if he can, but he's not ruling himself out for Sunday just yet.
Yeah, Ashley, obviously, Myles is a huge help, but getting Jadeveon back in the run game and just everything he brings would mean so much to this team.
Yeah, because he's one of the best edge setters in the league, particularly in defending against the run. Now, the Chargers haven't run the ball much. They just scored their first rushing touchdown last week, but, given the coaching staff of that team, you don't want them to now suddenly take advantage of that if they know there's an opening there, if they see something the Falcons did that they can replicate. So it would definitely be great if they can get Jadeveon Clowney back, but even if they can get Myles Garrett back, that's a huge step forward compared to last week, I think.
And Mary Kay, it was another positive step for Myles Garrett. Joe Woods seemed to indicate that he will play this week, and he was back out on the practice field, which this is all trending the right way for Myles.
It really is. I mean, for him to be back out there, we saw him come through the locker room today. His demeanor still looks good. A second day of practice, stacking it together means that he came through yesterday just fine. So even Joe Woods did say that he expects him to play on Sunday, so I think Justin Herbert will have something to think about.
And that's the goal, right, Ashley? Just make Justin Herbert as uncomfortable as possible.
Right, because he obviously has that size. He processes the game so well, so anything the Browns can do, if it's even possible to make Justin Herbert a little bit uncomfortable. Now, that rib injury might be doing a little bit of that work for them, but really, he's a really hard guy to stop. Even though this is only his third year in the league, he's kind of shown time and time again he's one of the best deep threat quarterbacks, one of the best quarterbacks late in games, so it's definitely a tall task.
Now, Amari Cooper, the Browns really were unable to get him going the other day, Mary Kay. So what do they need to do on Sunday to get him going against this Chargers defense?
I think it's important to try to get him some touches early on in the game. Sometimes receivers, they get into the flow of the game and then they start to heat up. And I think that happened to him in the previous two games. Now, in this past game, they used a zone defense that kind of neutralized him. But there's got to be ways to scheme Amari Cooper open, and he's so good at route running that he's going to get open somehow anyway. So I think I don't think they need to force it, but they need to press the issue just a little bit.
And Ashley, it's not that long ago he had back-to-back 100-yard games, so the connection with Jacoby is there. They just need to find it.
Right, and it certainly felt like in week 2, especially after he wasn't really super involved in week 1, that the Browns made a concerted effort to target him early and often. And he even talked about today, that's kind of what it's about for a receiver, getting those guys into a groove early. So I think they'll come out of this and find a way. I think this is maybe just kind of going to be the Amari Cooper experience a little bit. We might get some of those 100-yard games, and the sandwiched in between those could be a game like the one against the Falcons.
All right, Browns-Chargers coming up. It's getting closer. It is Thursday. One more practice day left, and then it's FirstEnergy Stadium, 1 o'clock on Sunday. We'll cover it all at cleveland.com/Browns.